All right, I was asked to do number 6 off the study guide for hyperbolas, and it said that there are two neighbors that are a mile apart, and an explosion happens, and it takes the explosion sound to reach the other one place 2 seconds longer than the original place. So we're trying to find the equation of the hyperbola, and the neighbors are going to be the foci. So I'm going to just draw this on here and call that foci 1. That's one of the neighbors. And then over here on the other side, we're going to call this foci 2. That's the other neighbor. And we know the distance between those two foci. And by the way, this is the center right here at the origin. You want to make it the origin because it makes the math real easy. So because of that, we can find C. And since it talks about speed of sound going 1,100 feet per second, we need to know that 1 mile equals 5,280 feet. So that means that this foci over here is half from the center to that foci right there is half a mile. So if I know that it's C from F2 to the center and another C from the center to F1, that means that 2C is equal to this 5,280. So if I divide by 2, that tells me the C value in my hyperbola is 2,640. So that's my C value right there. So if I wanted to write the ordered pair down here, the one on the right would be 2,640. The focus on the left would be negative 2,640. So there's some explosion that happens on the hyperbola. So I'm going to say that we got a hyperbola coming along like this over here. And I don't really know where the explosion happened. The explosion could be somewhere like right here. Anywhere on that hyperbola, the explosion could be. And it says that it takes the explosion 2 seconds longer to reach over to this focus. Is 2 seconds longer than it takes it to reach this focus. Well, because of that, we know that in the problem it says sound travels at 1,100 feet per second, and it takes 2 seconds longer. So that means the difference between the yellow dot to one focus and the other from the yellow dot to F2 is 2,200 feet further to F2. Now I could put that yellow dot anywhere on the graph. So to make it simplest, I'm going to say, hey, that yellow dot, and I'm going to change it to red, it's going to be this vertex. I'm going to say the explosion happened right here. Now we're supposed to know from the center to the vertex is A. So this distance is A. And we are supposed to know that from the center out here to the focus is C. So what that means is from the vertex, that red dot to F1, from the center or vertex to F1 is C minus A. So this C minus A distance, this distance right here is right there, that amount. So that also means there is another hyperbola over here, even though I haven't drawn it. I'm going to go ahead and draw it over here, even though I don't have to. That C minus A is also that distance from the vertex on the other side to that focus 2. That is also C minus A. So the difference between the vertex, the red dot, and that focus, and the red dot to the blue dot, this part right here, is 2A, but it also has to be a difference of this 2,200 feet. So that means 2A has to be that 2,200 feet. Again, I'm going to try to explain to you why, because from the red vertex to F1 is C minus A, and from the blue vertex on the left, F2 is also C minus A. So those are the equal amounts, and we know it's supposed to be 2,200 feet further from the vertex on the right over to the F2. So the part left over is that green brace there, the 2A. So what that tells me is A equals 1,100 feet. So that tells me my A value. Now my center is 0, 0. So And I'm also supposed to know that for a hyperbola, that c squared equals a squared plus b squared. So I have c. C I found way down here was at 26. C squared, or C was 2640. And I just got A was 1100. And now I can find B squared from that. So using my calculator, I'm going to plug in 2640 squared and then subtract 1100 squared from that. So my B squared, I'm going to write it below because it's a big number, is 5,759,600. That is B squared. Now, if I square A squared is going to be 1100 squared, which is going to be 1,210,000. So HK, the center is 0, 0. So the answer to this problem, the equation for the hyperbola, is going to be x, and because it's opening right or left, x is the positive one, x minus 0 squared, which is just x squared, over my a squared, which is 1,210,000. And then it's a minus because it's a hyperbola, and then y minus k is y minus 0, the quantity squared, which is just y squared, over b squared, which is 5,759,600, equals 1. That would be the equation of the explosion right there in yellow.